Okay, we're going to hack a Panasonic FS7. It's a 10 megapixel camera. It's Panasonic. It'll be a 3-wire hack with externals. It ends up being 5 wires. So we'll start taking it apart. We'll start with screws on the side. Take the side parts off. Remember where they go. Screw in 2 screws on the bottom. On the side. This piece here will pop out for you. This isn't doing a very good job for me right now. There it goes. Take that off, put that off to the side. And one more at the top. That'll separate. Just had to get my thumb in there. I'll pull out and take the front cover off, or back cover off, I'm sorry. Front and back's off. What's nice about this camera then is the whole, wiggle that up and the whole power bar will come up and off. So I don't have to do anything more with this camera. The rest of the camera I pull off to the side. And this is what I'm going to hack into. I'm going to hack into the power bar. And so we have 2 screws right here on the power bar. Screw up here. Screw there. And we can pull this board off. Be careful because the capacitor could still be charged. When we take it off, then we can discharge the capacitor. So there's some catches here. There it goes. No, partially. Wiggle those catches off. This whole board will come out of here, and there we go. Now, what we want to do is discharge that capacitor. So we have 2 spots right there, and what we want to do is take a resistor across that and discharge the capacitor. So I have a capacitor. Here I have, and we're gonna, or a resistor, I'm sorry, and I'm just gonna discharge the capacitor right there. So now the flash capacitor is discharged. You don't have to worry about getting shocked or burning up the board. So the spots we want to get to, who are that spot and the very last one right there. We want to get to those two spots, and this will be shutter. And we're going to do the power bar, and like I said, it's going to be my first contact right there. So all I'm going to do is lay down. I tinned my wire already. I just want to lay that wire on there, touch it, and peel it back just a little bit, because my next contact, you might want to do the other one first. My next contact's the very bottom one. You want to leave off the middle one. So I'll take my next wire, right on that last. Okay, I soldered that to the very last spot there. We'll show it to you here in a second. So that's my hack, and you can see to the top one and to the bottom one. We don't want the middle one. Okay, and we can pour wire down. Probably better to do it the other way, do the bottom one first. Okay, the next wire is going to be shutter. We're just going to, I want this first terminal right there. It's small, but you can see it. Chasing that thing around with my finger, and that's the shutter right there. Power button and shutter. So that's basically the hack for Panasonic. Now we're going to put it back together. So we want to put this top back on. And when our wires come out the front. Now, you can take the wires out the top if you want. You can take the mic out. I like my wires to come out the bottom. So remember those two screws we took out? That one, I didn't think it was up in there. We put that screw back in. And we have one more back further. And we'll put it back in. And now we are ready to do our externals. And we're going to come into here for externals. Okay, we're going to do externals. I have my wire already tinned with some resin on there. And what we're going to do is the very first terminal is going to be ground. Battery ground. So I just want to place it right underneath there, and I got, like I said, my wires are ready to go. Just going to sit that underneath there. There we go. And that's my first one's ground. Last one will be power. External power or external plus. Now we don't want to hit that connector. We hit this connector, we're going to ruin it. So you got to be real careful to stay away from this. You got to be real careful to stay away from this connector, and that's the external hack. So we have negative and positive very end. Let's do that again a little differently. So we'll have negative, positive, and all I did was went underneath here to the pad underneath. Stick my iron, but you definitely don't want to touch this, or you'll ruin it. It'll be just shot. You get your iron against that, it's going to melt, and you'll never hit contact. So that's the externals. So I'm ready to get my camera back. And that's all you do is put that right back down in. You'll feel it pop into that. Now what I like to do is I like to route my wires underneath the LCD screen. I always had trouble getting this thing off. You pop up. I'm going to pop up the. Now, if you weren't, some people take it up out of this, and you take it up out of there, you're done. But I like mine to come out of the bottom of the camera. Pull that out. Now I'm going to take the LCD holder off. Once I do that, now I can run my wires. I'm going to tape them down, but when you tape these down, you don't want to get on top of the holes that you have here you don't want to have them on top of the holes. You can put your LCD cover back down. And you might, and if you do, just cut them. Cut the tape out so you get the screw down through. So, I'm just going to run a little bit of tape here. Now I have a little slot here I run the wires out of. Sorry, I put that in the wrong hole. Some still ain't quite right here. There we go. Put my screen back up over. Pop it down. Get the front on. There it went. Now, I'm going to have to modify the bottom. And you got to be careful. Some of these, this is a, if they're metal, make sure you don't have a sharp edge. I'd like to come out the tripod hole, but it's too much of a pain for this camera. So I'll mark where the wire comes in and modify that. Okay, I modified the bottom so that my wires come out. Now I can put my top back on, or my back on, I'm sorry. Okay, if you remember, we had a screw right underneath here. Tighten it up. We got ready to put. Okay, we're going to put this piece here on. It's a side piece. This top one's the one that takes the larger. The longer screw. So this one has the long screw. This holds the other part of that in. A tripod holder. Now I want to take his door, put it in there, make our side piece. Now this got to go in at an angle because there's a tab at the top. It goes right in. Okay, that's the hack for an FS7. And we'll test the hack. Now this camera is different than a Sony or other cameras. What you do is you hold the power and power common together, and that'll turn the camera on. So you want to actually tie them together. And when you tie them together, the camera stays on. And then to make sure the flash works, you just hit that with your shutter. It'll take a picture. And that's how we test the camera. Oh, it's a nice little camera. It's the FS7, 10 megapixel. Might need a slave with it. Take incredible nice pictures. I'll give it a try.